Welcome back to the New Music Alliance Radio Hour. I'm Violet Hausthor, joined this week by Mark Sherry and our special guest DJ for today, Jon Carroll. And you just heard Tony Silva with Welcome. Before that, we had Matthew Thornton doing For Mum. And starting off that block, Glori Wilder with My Future. Ooh, let's talk about Tony Silva. That is such a chill track.
Tony's great, isn't he? He's that is some soundtrack work that he does.
Mhm.
Tony is a wonderful musicologist, and he's a wonderful player, and he's got a wonderful spirit about him. When you hear him play live, it's just the most sort of humanity-based, great vibe of goodwill and celebration of community music. Whether or not it's a tango that he's playing or varying Spanish-based tunes from varying regions in Central America, South America, he will bring you there and do it with a smile. And he's just got a wonderful grace about him, and he's a wonderful fellow.
And he's out of East Hampton, Mass. And this tune is part of the Islands of Life documentary soundtrack that I guess he put together.
He does these tracks. We all do varying assignment work for pieces, documentaries. I've done documentaries. I do a lot of soundtracks for Scholastic, actually, for these animated children's books. And he climbs right into it and composes really, really sensitive stuff. I really love it.
Yeah, well, that was a beautiful tune.
Though speaking of sensitive stuff, I mean, let's talk about Matthew Thornton and that track For Mum. It really tugs at the heartstrings, that one.
Oh gosh, yeah, what a touching song. It really is a sweet song.
Live, Matthew's wonderful to watch as well as hear. One of the things I told him as soon as he got here to the studio, that's not where he recorded that track, but he and I are doing some things here in my studio here in Eastworks. And I basically just told him the truth. I said, for what it's worth, I'm a fan. And he went, oh, that's great. It's great to hear. I said, the very first time I saw him play and the very first time I heard his singing struck me as very musical. Us musicians, whether we want to or not, kind of gauge the musicality of each other, and not in a compare out way, but some musicians will do something that is intriguing because maybe you don't know quite what they're doing or how they're doing it. Matthew does this beautiful presentation that involves loop pedals with his cello, but he's a wonderful musician, he's multi-instrumentalist, and his style of singing it's quite his own. To see him live, the first time I saw him live, I think we were on an open mic, or I think we were sharing a night at Luthier's together. Actually, I did a set and he did a set at the end. He's just got a wonderful way about him. I was done with my set and he was up trying some new songs that he had written. I was in the audience and he said, oh, this actually has a drum beat that would be great to it. Jon, can you do a drum? So I said, I don't know, but I'll try. And I came up on stage and there we were playing something together. And I thought that's a wonderful, healthy spirit. Working with Matthew is it's a real treat. Of all the folks that come through this studio, he's one that's just a lot of fun. You never know where it's going to go.
Absolutely.
So Matthew, yeah, he's from East Hampton, Mass. And this was a 2021 song. And I should mention also that Tony Silva's song beforehand is a much newer tune, 2024. Our first tune that we listened to in this block was Glori Wilder, My Future. And Glori's out of northwest corner of Connecticut. And she has just, as you mentioned earlier, such an expressive voice.
Yeah, that is so smoky and expressive and beautiful. I am blown away. I really am. Super catchy too, I gotta say.
Very much so. She's one of these artists that when working with them, you're at ease because she's very at ease. There's not a whole lot of anxiety around whether you're going about it the right way or not. If you're doing something that sounds good, she's down with it. And she's also works with different players. There's something very disarmingly self-assured about her, and I mean that in only the best ways, because there are some diva-esque young singers. I've worked with a few, and I never sensed that with Glori. She's just very open, very knowledgeable, and just very settled and very exciting to see and to hear on stage. She's and writes great songs. She writes all the time.
Yeah, we were happy that she was able to perform last year one of our singer-songwriter showcases in Holyoke at Holyoke Media. That was really a treat. She was excellent, just excellent.
Right
And
on.
for our next block that's coming up, we got a couple of more excellent tunes, one by the Valley Moonstompers Society, and we're going to start out with a tune by the Alchemystics, Let Them Know.